Hello everyone, welcome to a tutorial on how to use CMoon in my Jojo Datapack. So if you've not seen the video for Whitesnake, that would be a very helpful video to look at because a lot of the features here are also parts of that data pack as well, and I'll be using things that are explained more in detail in that pack's video. So the first thing I'm going to show off is how you go about getting CMoon, because this is one of the harder parts. It's one of the more involved parts of this pack. So the first thing you have to do is you have to get Whitesnake. This works the same way as it works since like last week when I made it. So what you want to do is you want to drop this nether star, spectral arrow gives you a stand arrow, then you drop a stand arrow and black dye, and that'll give you Whitesnake. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to summon Poochie. All you have to do to summon Poochie is get a written book, type literally whatever you want in it, and then just name it Bible, with a capital B. Now, if it's your first time summoning Poochie, there will be a little animation, but since this is not my first time, he is already sit comfortably in this church. All I'll be using this book to do is move him around, because anytime I use this when I'm outside of Poochie's range, he comes to you. Right here. Okay, I still love that. So what you want to do in order to turn your Whitesnake into CMoon is you need to collect 36 hostile mobs inside of a sort of small area. You're going to have a range of about 30 blocks when you go to do the actual ceremony, but that's not as far as you think it is. So I just have some command blocks to do this for me. This has to at least be 36. There's no... Oh? How? Dude. Prank him. Now that I have at least 36 mobs, that better be 36. I can't, like... That's a lot. I can now begin the process. The fact that I use spiders just shows a poor lack of judgment given how big their hitboxes are. But anyways, once you have them all together, all you have to do is bring Poochie over. So I've got this Bible. I'm going to click. And there you go. And the process begins. Look at that. Alright. Once it's over, what you'll be left with is a group of these weird looking trees. What you do with all these trees is you have to look... and I'm not making this up, this is how it this is how it works in the story. Somewhere in the trunks of these trees there is a literal tiny green man, and we want to find him. So I'm looking for him. Is he up here? No. Where is the little man? There's a little man in here. Where is he? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, apparently there were two that were close enough, and I completely missed them. Alright, cool. Anyways, what you'll find inside of the trunk is a little green baby. There he is. And what you want to do is you want to pick him up. And there he is. As you can see, he's sitting on my shoulder. He's my little buddy. But he's not long for this world, as our next step is to go over to Poochie and talk to him while holding this baby. And he'll have a couple of lines kind of explaining it. This is not any more normal in canon as it is out. And then he tells you, hey, go ahead and use the baby, which is very nice of him. And once you've done that, you can now obtain CMoon. So, it's very simple. All you have to do is right click. And it put the item in the exact perfect slot to summon CMoon. That's actually beautiful. Okay. Now that I've got CMoon, we can start to get into what each of the items does and what its abilities are. The first item we're going to go over is the little stand item. So you use this item to summon your stand as well as manage your inventory a bit. The way you want to use it is, right now I don't have it summoned. What you want to do is you want to put it in the far right slot of your inventory. And all my stands work this way, but Thought I'd show it off again. There we have Sea Moon. If you want to desummon your stand, put this in your offhand, and he goes away. I like to use F to do this because it's a little more easy for me. The other use this item has is that you can silence your stand. What this will do is it'll stop all of its processes, and it'll get rid of the items in your inventory so that it's not clogging up space. So it's a way of getting items out of your inventory without you having to remove your stand. You do this by right-clicking, and it'll tell you stand silenced. Once this happens, the only item that you'll keep getting back is Sea Moon itself. So you go from having 4 items to 1 item. Right-click it again to turn it back on, and you can just drop that. Second item we'll go into is the Punch and Barrage item. This one's pretty straightforward. It's the same as every other stand with a Punch and Barrage item. Sea Moon's Punch and Barrage do a substantial amount of damage. They do a little bit more damage than all the other stands. They also do a lot of knockback. So first I'll use the Heavy Punch. And as you can see, that Iron Golem went flying. Not that it really cares, but it did go flying. Now I'll use the Barrage. And as you can see, that goes through a lot of health in a very short amount of time. Sea Moon was very dangerous. The other thing that it does, and I can't really show this off to you, is that when you hit a player with this stand, with its main punch, it will invert them. And what this does is it basically cripples them and causes their max health to go down. So I can't really show this off, but if I go punch, and then I go if I do that, as you can see, their max health has gone from 20 to 14. That's in half hearts. And if I punch them again, their max health goes back to 20. So I'm uninverting them with that. The Barrage does not do this because you're punching so fast, it's like the effect kind of undoes itself immediately. So much like Whitesnake, Sea Moon is also a remote controlled stand, and it has a pretty substantial range. So if I hold down right click, the way that you do this is you have your remote control item, and all you have to do is hold it in your main hand and hold down right click. Sea Moon will move faster than Whitesnake. And I also wanted to show off that I've added a new feature where if you use this item while you're crouching, it actually comes back, right? Putting this item in your offhand will bring it back to you, and it'll start working as it did before you went remote. While Sea Moon is remote, it can still use all of its punches, its barrage, as well as its actual ability, which we'll get into in a bit. Except while it is remote, its punches do not do knockback. Does night vision 2, I can see twice. I have no idea what that even does. The last item that the stand comes with is its main ability. So this ability has a couple of uses, this item. The first one I'll show off is the most simple. So if you hold shift and you right click with this, it'll lower the gravity of the user. And all this does is it makes it so that you can jump higher and you float when you fall. This is a toggleable ability, so whenever I shift and right click after activating it, it'll be deactivated. And you can see it tells you right there whether or not it's been activated. The second and main use of this is that if you right click it without shifting, it'll begin to repel nearby mobs. So Sea Moon's ability is to control gravity and invert things. It's kind of a little ill-defined, but it has to do with gravity. That's why Poochie's always talking about gravity. This effect is centered around Sea Moon. So when I mentioned earlier that this can be used remotely, I did so for a reason. So if I remote control Sea Moon for real quick, and I once again activate this, it's toggleable the same way the low gravity is. You can see things start to get repelled, and I can move over to this zombie. As you can see, they are being pushed upwards. This is very dangerous for everything. Now, when it comes to players, this ability doesn't have quite as big of an effect. So, as you can see, I have a player right there, standing about within 20 blocks of me. If I activate this ability, you can see no effect on the player. And I'll jump around a bit. You'll see that once players get to be within about 10 blocks of Sea Moon, oh god, they'll get launched away. Now, this ability does not mean that you can just infinitely send players into space. There is a limit, first of all, to how far away this ability will affect players, and second of all, they also get a slow falling effect temporarily. So my intention with this ability was not to make it a way of just instant killing massive amounts of players with little to nothing that they can do. It was to make an ability that could push them away from you. Woo! This is ridiculous. Look at that guy. Say hi. Hello. Okay. I can move Sea Moon while this is happening too. So if I go up, woo, this may be the only way to make this attack very dangerous, is to like line it up. Now if a player lets you do that to them, they were bound to die anyways, but you're in creative mode, so you don't care. But what if there is some mob that you don't want to launch away, right? Like maybe you have a dog. I have a dog right here. It's my dog. Look at it boogie down. And let's say I don't want to launch this dog to hell. So what I do is, the last use that this item has is I can put it in my offhand, and when my cursor's near this dog, it's about an effect 3 blocks in front of me, it'll start to have these little particles. And when I right click, those particles will change. So what this particle means is that the dog will not be affected by the gravity. So if I right click, you can hear the noise. You can't really see the effect because there aren't any mobs around, but I can launch that player. And as you can see, the dog is perfectly fine. Put it in my offhand. I can, however, toggle this immunity off. And boop. Get close enough. Right click. There it goes. Gets teleported back to me because it's my dog. This would mostly be useful if, say, you have a village and you have a bunch of villagers and you don't want to launch all the villagers away when you're using this ability. Like maybe you're being attacked at night and you just want to repel all of the hostile mobs. You could go around to all the villagers and you could give them this little immunity, right? You can see he's immune. I can bring my stand back to me. As you can see, oh no! Everything is being pushed away. Alright, and just to be a little chaotic. They've been raptured. So that's basically it for what the stand does. I guess the last few things that I can mention. Turn this on. And they are still pushed away. So as you can see, they're over there. And when they go to use their return to zero ability, you can see gravity is off. And it won't even let me turn it on. Alright, go beat them up. That was mean what they did. So yeah, that's basically it for Sea Moon. I'm sure you all know what comes next. And I'll be releasing another video once I'm done with the next stand. Hope you all have a good day, and leave a like and subscribe if you want to do that. Which you do, because I'm asking you politely. Alright.